That was quite an amazing one. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing before we have our dancers, we want to go into fast fingers. Fast fingers. What network should I call first? MTN. Everywhere you go. Okay. Can we start? 1906 7367 0020 55245. Has anybody gotten it? Oh, okay. Let's go to Airtel. Airtel users 5582. I'll take it gradually, but I'm not going back. 3243. Airtel users 0624 2771. Okay. Now, this one, let me go back to empty. No, let's go to Glow. Let's go to Glow. Glow users. Don't worry, MTN is still coming. Can we go 48904 17598 61325? Nobody has gotten it? Okay. Somebody has gotten it at the back there. Okay. Did you get... Okay, let's go to MTN. I think this one is 200 naira. Okay. MTN. Are we good to go? 459729672256120. Is remaining one. 8. Okay, she got it there. Okay. Okay. Okay, I should calm down, right? I'm very fast. Don't worry, I'll take it slow. Okay, let's go to Glow users. There's one more MTN here, don't worry. That MTN out. Okay. Okay. But let me just our dancers, are you ready? Our dancers, are you ready? Okay, I promised them already, so let me give them one more Glow. Glow. Don't worry, I'm coming back to calling the pin again. Glow 47447 098887 4627. Our dancers. Okay, has anybody gotten it? Who? Okay, Joy. There's no time. Our dancers, are you ready? Okay, they say they are waiting for their DJ. DJ. Uncle DJ. What's going on? Sorry, just be a little patient. Yes, just a little. Do you have any special name? What's the name? Science. Science. Okay, it's not working. Okay, our media crew, they are still trying to fix the music. Just okay, so as they are doing that, please let me just call another MTN because there are a lot of MTN users here. Or I should not call. If you want me to call, let me see your hand up. There are a lot of MTN users. So okay, what's the pin of MTN again? What's the pin? Okay. Okay, 78 74 95 32 60 472. Okay. Okay, somebody has gotten it. Okay, our media, are we set? Is everything okay? Okay, so don't worry, there are some still in my hand. I will come up later for more fast fingers. Let's welcome the Science Dancing Crew.
sitting and watching like that. Wow, that was amazing. That was amazing. Wow. Oh, so we have dancers like that, like this. Wow. We'll have more of them. Don't worry. We'll have more of them. Okay. To take this event forward, we'll quickly go to, because the time is really fast spent, we'll quickly go to our second panel discussion, and then we are going to have questions thrown to our lecturers and our speakers. Please, you've learned a lot from our seniors, and then you're going to be learning from our lecturers as well. So to take it further, please help me welcome Pastor Alex Oguche. Please jam your hands together as we welcome him.
Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Alex Oguche, and it's my pleasure to be the one to throw the questions at our esteemed lecturers this afternoon. Today is actually a very wonderful day. This is because I remember vividly on my birthday, 16th November 2022, that was when this whole idea was conceptualized. And today happens to be the birthday of the lead person, Ekomo Jehoshaphat. Happy birthday to you. So I think there is something about, birthdays have some connection with this event. I don't know, but it's really amazing. So I have, on the panel discussion this afternoon, I have Dr. Mafulu Simon. He's a lecturer. Put your hands together for him. I also have Miss Jane Rose. Put your hands together for her. And I have Mr. Paul Agwaza. All right, so I want to say something just before we delve into the business of the day proper. I personally have a problem with the Nigerian educational system. You know why? Most of what we are taught in the university is more of the theoretical aspect of what we are learning. We don't get to see the practical aspect of it. And that's the problem I have with the Nigerian system. But I'm looking forward to that day or that time when we'll be able to have the practical aspect of what we're learning so that we'll relate better. Wouldn't that be a good idea? It would be a major big breakthrough for us. All right, so my first question would go to Dr. Mafulu Simon. So I have this question for you, sir. Have you ever used a principle in biochemistry to solve a real life problem, sir? If yes, would you like to share with us, sir? Thank you so much, sir.
Principle in biochemistry to solve real life problem. Sometimes you may not clearly say this is absolutely attributed to only one principle. But I would say that in my own area of research, my PhD research is on abandoned mines. And in the past, when this mining took place, excavation was done. And later on, water settles down. And people in the past don't drink from the water. They don't eat food irrigated with the water. But with time, as population begin to increase, there was need to do irrigation. So people begin to irrigate with the water. So I had to do analysis of the crops and the fruits. And I discovered that some have high level of lead, cadmium, and other elements. So I have advocated that such mining ponds that have high level of elements should be closed down. those that don't have high level of elements that have more of the essential metals can be allowed to be used, but with frequent monitoring of the crops. I don't have the power to go and close down the ponds, but I was surprised to see that through discussions like that, there was a pond around Barkinladi. Those of you who know Barkinladi, at that bend like this, they closed down the pond. So I can say that, yeah, in some sort you may not have maybe seen a principle being achieved, but at least we have taken a step and we have made advocacy, and somehow to some extent I will say that yes, some principles have worked.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So I don't know if our other lecturers have something to add to what he has shared with us. If an aspect of biochemistry, beg your pardon, that you've applied to solve a real life problem as an individual. And if yes, sir.
For me, I wouldn't say per se that I've been able to apply the principle, but I've been able to use a principle in biochemistry to start a process that we hope that once it hits something big, it can actually be applied. So mine is like a work in progress.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. Thank you. All right, all right. So my next question is directed to Mr. Paul Agwaza. Can you share a specific example of a research project you've worked on where problem-solving skills were crucial to achieving success? And what lessons did you learn from this experience? If you'd like to share with us.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Okay, I will start by saying that I'm just starting out, okay, in the midst of seasoned scientists and academics here. I will just say that I'm starting out, like most of you might have known. Okay, to answer your question, let me just use my undergraduate work. For instance, I worked on enzymes, precisely lipid digestive enzyme. My undergraduate project topic was inhibitory kinetics of hesperidine. It's a plant-based compound on recombinant porcine pancreatic lipase. Now, porcine because the enzyme was gotten from pig. Porcine relates to pig, and because it's very closely related to human pancreatic lipase, you know. So it's an enzyme. So I would say that it's part of enzymology. And what we basically did was that, okay, the problem we thought existed was that obesity, though in some years back, was thought to be a problem that affected only people in the Western world, okay, the white people. But for some time now, we've discovered that people, even in our clan here, actually come up with obesity, you know, some due to lifestyle and all whatnot. So we're trying to see how we can come up with a method, or that we can come up with a solution that would help, you know, reduce this problem of obesity. And we related it to lipid digestion or lipid metabolism, that this contributes to the development or the onset of this obesity. And pancreatic lipase, because now, okay, before I go on, we know that enzymes play a very crucial role in almost every activity that happens in the body, particularly when you are referring to metabolism. You've done glycolysis and all those other pathways. You know that there is no pathway that you do not see enzymes playing a role. So, I mean, this is more like the theory we learned in class coming into practice, okay? So, pancreatic lipase, what it does is that it helps to break down lipids when you take them, into the body, into simpler molecules that are being absorbed. So the more these lipids are being broken down, the more they are being absorbed, the more they are being stored up in, let's say, adipose tissues, okay? And then the more it grows, the more somebody, let's say, blows up. So in enzymology, again, you would permit me, I'm trying to relate so that you would follow, okay? You know that there's something called inhibition, right? So what inhibitors do is to, to stop the activity or to reduce the rate at which enzymes are catalyzing or carrying out their roles, right? So we thought that inhibiting this pancreatic lipase, because it is the major enzyme that is involved in, digesting lipids. There are other lipases. You have lingual and the gastric lipase and all, but this particular one does the major digestion from about, let's say, 50 to 70%. So we're trying to see how we can inhibit the activity of this enzyme, knowing that if you reduce the rate at which these lipids are being absorbed, you reduce the way the adipocytes are being formed, and then someone will not blow up as much. So that was the whole aim of the research. And the reason why we resorted to using hesperidine, a plant-based compound, is a polyphenol, is that there's actually a drug, Orlistate, that's been found to inhibit the activity of this enzyme, but it has side effects, okay? So we're trying to see how sourcing something from plants probably would do the same thing as Orlistate, but have, lesser side effects. And in the course of this work that we did, I came to appreciate enzymology more. The fact is that I actually like mathematics. I'm inclined mathematically. And then coming to startup enzymology, I really loved the course. Actually, credit to Dr. Mafulu that started with us. His materials were so self-explanatory, and then he did a very good job in the class. So I piqued interest. So having to come up to take on a project in enzymology was actually interesting. And we could see, right from the enzyme assay, we could practically see these things happening. That when you stop a reaction that an enzyme was involved in, you could literally see it. Going all the way to plotting, line-weavable plot that we were doing in class, and we thought, oh, this thing was abstract, kind of, So you do something in a test tube, you get your result, and you plot, and it comes out, and you're like, but in this case, the thing is that you're not using pen and graph sheet to plot. You're using, softwares like Excel to plot, and it's coming out like that, and you're seeing it real happening. And then it solves the puzzle that biochemistry is not abstract at all. So at times it's just here in the head that is abstract. But when you tend to see some of these things happening really, you would see that it works, okay? And you can solve problems with this. Okay, now, hesperidine, the compound, and then in course of this work, we actually learned some calculations that, had to, maybe came at that point as being new then. But, we learned something, that you can apply to other scenarios or stuff like that. So seeing a compound like hesperidine that has a structure that without this project you would think, okay, what can this structure do? But with the project, with the work we did, you literally see how this thing was playing a role. And from there, you see it's actually a lead to the fact that if this compound would have a better effect on the enzyme pancreatic lipase, is a lead, to developing a drug that will serve a better purpose than what we already know. So it was more like an eye opener to the fact that, okay, the thing research they talk about is not just word of mouth, okay? Or when they talk about research, it's not just about paper, and more reason why some people tend to struggle when they have to do their undergraduate work, because they feel it is just a requirement, like it's stated on the printed book, that is part of the requirement, right? So if you let me just do this thing, whatever is a requirement, so that I'm done with. So you don't really care to understand the underlying principles or the rudiments behind that. You don't even read through the work, to have the basic understanding of this thing work. But I've learned that if you are able to do these things, then it makes it easy. And the more you get involved, the more you get to see that biochemistry really is playing a very pivotal role, in solving problems. Before this project, probably I'd just seen obesity on the surface. I may not really have known what really causes this obesity. But with that, okay, apart from, let's say, lipid digestive enzymes, we also did, part of the work was on carbohydrate digestive enzymes, where we use amylase and alpha glucosidase enzymes. I mean, these are enzymes we've been hearing in class, right? But we didn't really have an in-depth understanding about how these things work. But with the little work we did, our eyes were able to open to the possibilities that lie in, trying to uncover these things. And beyond just I just want to chip in a bit that beyond just waiting to come up to 400 level before, you are opened or introduced or opened up to research, you can start early. Like Dr. Marv said, no one teacher will tell you everything. That is just a fact. And you should not wait for you to be guided to do virtually everything. We have a whole lot of information on our fingertips, but it's quite unfortunate that we don't make use of that. So coming to school is not just when you have classes, you come, sit, take it, and go away, and then on your spare time you use it to do other things that are outside academics. You think academics ends once you are outside the gate of main campus. It doesn't work like that. So you need to go overboard. You need to go beyond just the classroom, to try to find out where you fit. Now, when you do that, by the time you come to this last phase of your degree here in the university, it will actually help. Probably you may not even need your supervisor to suggest something. You'll be the one suggesting things. And you're not just suggesting them because you went online, saw a topic that is catchy. You don't even know the meaning of that, and then you suggest. But probably by, in-depth research, you have actually come up with something that you want to go into. So I'm just imploring us, like I said before, to be very intentional about this thing. And to the final year students here, who some probably have started their work or some have not started. The reason why you are struggling with your work for most of you is that they give you a topic and then you go online, then you just pick something and you put it down. You don't care to know what that is. You don't care to know the principles that, are underlined for that to be able to work very well. So understanding or deep studies, when you talk of research, like somebody said, is what? Searching again and again and again. And somehow you discover that there is a link to what you are doing and this other thing. Some people are working on malaria. I remember in 400 level, there's a course we did something relating to malaria. Yes, malaria, not an elective though. I'm not talking of parasitology or parasite biochemistry. So you can, give your time to these things, and then when you come to the final stage, it makes it very easy for you to sail through. So I hope.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. That was quite elaborate. Thank you so much, sir. Just before we move to the next question, I don't know, I have this feeling that Dr. Maful would want to share something, maybe a little, in that line before we move to the next question, sir. Thank you, sir.
Well, research, like he have said, generally there are a lot of questions that are yet to be answered. If you look at it, as humans, we can never attain ultimate reality. As soon as you open up one problem, solve one problem, you may open up 100 more problems. Like now, I think some 40 years ago, those who live in Nigeria and die at that time did not see this, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But today you see our eyes are becoming more dim because of this, isn't it? So it has solved the problem. And I know that our grandparents, if you had told them that one day in Nigeria they will hold something like this and call someone as far as maybe Abuja or Lagos, they will not believe. But today it's here. It's a product of research. So research is about finding out. Well, there are a lot of researches that we have done. Like one of the research is on bioremediation. Me and my colleague, Dr. Enoch, we said, okay, allowing cabbage to waste, is there a way we can make something from it? So we know that the peroxidase that is used now at commercial level is from a plant called horseradish. So the search for peroxidase from different plants is ongoing. And so we decided to say, okay, we don't want to compete with food that people are consuming because, you know, food safety, you know, food insecurity. We should try as much as possible to avoid converting what will be used for food into drug. So we went for waste cabbage, and we went to the farms where they plant cabbage. The waste one they throw, we saw how we can convert and extract peroxidase from there, and we did, and it worked. So you find out that we compared the peroxidase with the common one, although the horseradish one still have higher, you know, parameters than the cabbage, but the cabbage peroxidase can still do some more work. So research is ongoing and it's something that we can do. There is no end to research. So that's the ultimate summary. Everybody can engage in research. Let me say this, that if you have the idea, like Bitrus said, if you can put your idea down, there are 1,000,001 bodies that are ready to fund innovative research. If you can bring about changes, you can help people to solve their problems, I'm telling you, they will provide money to do the research. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Are you learning? Can I get a response? Great, great. So once again, I don't think I did introduce the topic to us when we started out. The topic for this panel discussion is exploring biochemistry, research, and problem solving. And the next question will be going to Ms. Jane. And this is the question. What are the current challenges facing biochemists in terms of research and problem solving, and how are you approaching these challenges in your own work? Thank you, Ma.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. In all honesty, the number one problem is finance.
Okay.
Yeah, it's finance. Getting the financial capacity to be able to run a research is one major problem we have, because you have the idea, and because you've acquired knowledge over time, you see that there are ways rather you have to go about this whole thing in order to get a result. But there again, when we look at our local environment, our environment where we find ourselves, we see that these things are not there. And the resources, or rather the finance you need to acquire them, they're not there. And then you see that in the long run, these researches, they tend to be way more expensive because locally you do not have what you need to like achieve this. And that is one major problem that we're facing with research. It's not that the interest is not there. The lack of finance has even killed the interest in some people. And we now see most people taking research to be a joke because to them, they don't see a reason why they should research. Another problem, apart from the finances, is that we as individuals, sometimes we are not ready to continue with what we start.
Yeah.
We just start something and then you see a little, what do you call it?
Challenge.
Hitch on the way, and then we back out. We don't want to continue anymore. And then you see it will hamper research. You see a good work, something good. And then there again, because you have experienced one challenge or the other, you're laid back. You just don't want to do it anymore. It's a problem. And there again, no man is an island. One person cannot do something extraordinary. Sometimes the cooperation is not there. You have the interest, you have the motivation, but you can't do it on your own. And there again, if you're not careful, you may not see people who share the same thoughts and ideas with you. And because that is a problem, you see that research in that aspect will become more like people now lose interest. I can't do everything. I have the idea. So even if I have the finances, the resources are there, the laboratory equipment are there, all right, let me just use a typical laboratory setting. I come to a very, very advanced lab. And in that lab, they have everything, but I'm not experienced in using those equipment. And unfortunately, there is no technical the person with the technical know-how on how to handle this thing, the person is not there. So how am I going to achieve this? But if I have the resources and I have the persons, the what do you call it, the personnel on ground to help me achieve what I want, why won't research thrive? Because in the course of looking for a solution to a problem, another question may pop up. This is one question I am trying to answer. One question will birth another question. As an individual, I may not figure out that one question at that point in time, but I have somebody who I am working with. The person now sees it from another angle. And then the person now asks the question, what if this is done this way? Or if we should do this way, what will it amount to? And you see, when you work as a group, new ideas are born. And then you see that, this work is not just here. Okay, I use a typical example of the research ongoing right now. In the course of trying to we have already figured out, okay, this is what we want to do. Now, in the course of interacting, and not just one person, in the course of interacting, the other person now figured out, there's a problem in this area. And then you now see, okay, if there's a problem in this area, okay, let's pin it down. Let's pen it down. Let's do this. After doing this, we'll now come over to this. By so doing, you now see that you're opening research. But the problem we have an African mentality of I want to do it all by myself. Yes. On my own. So that's the problem we have, our typical African mentality. And there again, we know that research gives birth to research because the result you get will open up a door for another person. But then again, you see now in Africa, you have a result. In fact, you will hide it. You wouldn't even want others to know what you're doing. So that is a problem. And then it now looks as though everything is static. Wow. Yeah? But the problem is we have been selfish with knowledge. We are selfish with ideas. We are selfish with our time. We are selfish with almost everything we have. And there again, there is this adage we used to say in our place. Anyone who pins someone to the ground is also on the ground. So we fail to realize that if you are holding back what you think you know, you're also limiting yourself. Because by the time you open up to someone else, the person tells you what you do not know.
Wow.
Back then, there was one of the courses we took in our master's, it has to do with philosophy. The philosopher said, we don't even know up to 1% of what we think we know. Even a professor, till the day he dies, he just don't know up to 1% of what he thinks he knows. Call a professor today who is vast in a particular knowledge, right? He'll tell you everything. And then you call probably an undergraduate who comes and picks out something that professor never knew. So if we have the mentality of let me share what I have, trust me, research is not going to be a problem because, okay, let's take for instance, I have the idea, but I don't know how to go about to source for resources. But the moment I bring just one person on board, I'll be surprised who that person knows or where that person, the extent that that particular person can go to get the resource you could use to fund your project. But there again, problem of selfishness.
Wow.
So,
thank you so
that is
much.
just it.
Please, let's put our hands together
Thank you
for
so
her. Wow. I feel we should continue, but then time is a factor here. Now, Dr. Mafulu expounded on how that it's important that we see research as a continuous thing, right? So one phase of a research opens another. So research never ends. As long as we remain here, we'll keep researching. And Miss Jane just said something. She did talk about teamwork. So teamwork is actually something very important. If you must make progress in the research world, we need to work as a what? As a team. So collaboration is very, very important. Because of our time, I would like to just take one question from the audience before we wrap it up. So does anybody have a question from the audience? All right, Miss Irene, please can we get the microphone to her quickly?
Standing on the existing protocol, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to our lecturers, our panelists, and to my beloved colleagues. So my question is actually stemmed from everything we've been hearing so far. I am channeling this question to the lecturers panel. Now, I want to know, based on your vast knowledge of experience, what advice would you give to we, the students, from 100 level down to 400 level? I know the other panelists talked about creating a synergy, building the gap between the academics and the research. So I want the lecture panels, because you guys have actually gone ahead. So I want you to tell us what you would have done better while you were a student, what you think we should employ now that maybe we're not open to seeing it by ourselves now, but you know that these are opportunities we can explore, avenues that we can put ourselves into, ways that we can position ourselves to get to where you are and probably even do it better. So I want to hear from the lecture panel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Irene.
Okay, thank you very much, Irene. Let me just say that we live in a global setting now. Our environment is more globalized than before. With the internet, you can have interaction with people far off, right? And for me, what I did was that at the time when I knew that what I wanted to do research on, the equipments were not in Nigeria. They used to have, at certain point, geology used to have the ICP machine, but somehow it got spoiled. So I had to check online. What I did was that I set experts in toxicology in the UK. Just that, querying the Google search, it brought a list of people. So I typed my proposal, what I intended doing, and I sent to over 40 people. Some will reply, I say, so sorry, my hands are filled up, I can't take you. Until one person from Manchester replied, and say, okay, can we see how we get started? And that was what took me to the UK to do the work. So we live in a globalized environment. Whatever idea you have, whatever you intend to do, someone is doing it. Now for you, I will say that from the lecturers, as we come to the class and interact with you through lectures in taught courses, if you pick interest in whatever a particular lecturer is doing, I will advise that you take a step further, advance towards him and find out, sir, I have interest in this. Can you guide me a bit further to see if you are doing any research work? Can you draw me closer? Let me learn a little bit from what you are doing. I think through that you will gain some more insight. But the internet it's just that you use your internet to do other non-academic search. But you can channel it to that, and you could find people. Okay, I had a student who graduated. I now said, okay, you graduated as a biochemist. Why don't you take some online courses that are free on nutrition and see whether it could help you to do some, since you said you like nutrition. And this lady said, okay, she took a diploma course online on nutrition. And do you know right now, she's in the UK, right? Working. And with that, her diploma, they say, okay, they will take her. They sponsored, gave her flight tickets, everything. And now, right now, she's in Manchester. So there is no limit to what you can do. Like, what's his name? Jehoshaphat said that when he was not giving medicine, he was giving biochemistry, he had to ask the Holy Spirit to help him. And I'm sorry, I have to say that the Holy Spirit knows the best. Ask him, he will guide you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
All right, to add a little. Well, he did mention rightly, the world is now globalized. And these days, we see there is improvement in tech. We now have what you call artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And unfortunately, some students, some of you, misuse artificial intelligence. Now, you should take artificial intelligence as your friend to help you grow. Or rather, society will only value you if you have a value, if you put value upon yourself, if you have a problem to solve. Globally, right now, we have a whole lot of issues. We have programs that have been designed by the United Nations, things like the Sustainable Development Goals and all of that. It started with Millennium Development Goals. They had a target. And once they got to their the stage where they had targeted, they saw that there is a need to sustain development. They changed it to Sustainable Development Goals. Now, let me just use the term, students, take this opportunity right now. Go through these Sustainable Development Goals. Give yourself relevance by trying to see, I as a biochemist, where can I come in these Sustainable Development Goals? There are institutions out there ready to sponsor people who take interest in key issues that are being addressed by the Sustainable Development Goals. In fact, right now, one of the key issues being considered is climate change. And you as a biochemist, you can contribute based on your basic knowledge of what biochemistry is. At this stage right now, there are courses you will take that can address climate issues. If and only if you take those courses seriously, you'll be able to start or begin a step that will lead to you finding a space in looking for a solution to the problem of climate change. Talk about food insecurity as a biochemist. The beauty of this place is that you have courses in your 400 level that helps, it shapes your mind as to how to identify problems in key areas. So it's now left for you. Check these development goals. These courses that I am taking, right? How can I use the knowledge that I have acquired in these courses to address at least one of those goals? There are people who are in the international space today because they found a pressing issue, and based on the knowledge they acquired in their classroom, they are able to solve problems. And today you hear their names. It's not like they just sat one place and said, okay, let me just do this. No. Let me just do this. No. They look, what is the problem? What is it? What do I have that I can now use to solve this problem? Now, some of us are good in mathematics, right? Mathematics can be applied in biochemistry. Look for that aspect. Marry biochemistry with mathematics. Let me use an instance. Drug design. Today, you hear of resistance to diseases and all of that. Basic knowledge starts from what? Parasitology. Let me use that as an example. Parasitology helps you to identify possibilities of what? Resistance due to what? Some sort of infection, drug abuse, thank you. Now, you as a biochemist, with your knowledge of parasitology, you have a particular infection being caused by an agent. You try to identify what is the characteristics of this agent. What are those things that this agent need to survive? And why is it that they can acquire resistance? By having that knowledge, you begin to develop interest in, okay, let me solve this. Now, like one of our lecturers used to say, that biochemistry is just like the sky. No two birds can clash in the sky. So even if you find two persons having same or similar interest in a particular field, the level of interest will be different. You will come from an aspect, another person will not come. But both of you coming together and putting your knowledge together, you'll be able to bring out a solution to a problem. So basically, don't take your courses for granted, especially those in 400 level right now. Those courses you see there, they open your eyes to possibilities of solving problems. They are rather giving you basic knowledge, what you should know. It's now left for you. Is it in environment? You have courses. Is it drug development? There are courses. Even understanding pathogenesis of certain diseases, you have courses. Now, most of you take this, what do you call it? Something as simple as carbohydrate biochemistry, you take it for granted. No. Pathways are being explored in drug development. Now, if you come on board, that, okay, you have shown vast knowledge or good, appreciable level of understanding in certain metabolic pathways, you see how you can use that knowledge and apply it to drug development. Trust me, by the time you put a proposal out there, you will be left with, okay, who will I select? Who will I settle down with that, okay, this person can fund my project or something? We need to start taking your courses seriously. And please, it's a plea. Don't seek biochemistry as a course that you come and cram. And then when you ask exam questions, or ask questions anyway, you come and start rapping based on what you crammed. No. Biochemistry is more of an applied course than an abstract. It is not even an abstract course at all. So some of you come with a mindset of, let me just cram this course and go. That is the genesis of you crashing even before you take off. So read to understand, because in reading and understanding, it helps you to figure out what problems are and helps you to know where you can start preferring a solution to. Thank you.
Impressive. Put your hands together for her. Wow. I'm so sorry. I must apologize for taking more time than I was allocated. It's because this topic is actually very interesting. So pardon me. All right. So just before I leave the stage, I would like to say the world is faced with myriads of challenges. All you need to do for yourself is pick a niche and be good. And before you know it, your name will be heard all around the world. Do you want to be a global icon? Great. So once again, I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Mafulu Simon. Put your hands together for him. Miss Jane Rose and Mr. Paul Agwaza. Thank you so much for being on set. Thank you for sharing knowledge with us, value with us today, and we remain grateful. I think we have a prize for the person that asked a question, because we had an agreement that whoever asked a question from the audience will be given a prize. So she has a prize. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was really amazing. That was quite educating. How many of you learned a lot from that panel discussion? Wow. How many of you learned? Please let me see your hand up. Okay, that's amazing. Thank you very much, SARS. Thank you very much, Ma. I know that there is serious riots going on in your Middle Belt region right now. Am I right? You don't understand. There is serious riots going on in your Middle Belt region. So, so don't worry, it will be done any moment. And our welfare team, they will see you soon. But just in few minutes, please, can we make welcome the person of Mr. Israel Ede to just give an appreciation. Please jam your hands together as we welcome him. He's just coming to give an appreciation. Please keep clapping for him. He's a powerful man.
Thank you, sir. Okay, a beautiful morning to you all once again. Have you learned something today? Okay, I actually learned a lot. This is a very amazing event. Personally, the biochem study community, it has helped me a lot. When I came to this school first, I just believed that if I can get A's, that's all, I'll be safe. But meeting these guys, meeting people like this, it has changed my mindset. Now I think like trying to solve problems, global problems. Nobody should look at themselves like too small. You get? So this is a very good event. I want to specially thank our guests, our lecturers. I want to thank Dr. Mafulu. Sorry, I don't know the name very well. Dr. Mafulu Simon. I want to thank you, sir. Miss Jane Rose. I want to say a big thank you to you and our first class graduate. It's an honor to have you here. Sir Agwaza Paul. It's a privilege to have you here. I know you have tight schedules and all, but you graced us with your presence and you shared your knowledge with us. We don't take it for granted. On behalf of the Biochem study community, I want to say a big thank you. I also want to thank our seniors. I want to say a big thank you to you. Sir Joshua Omale, thank you so much for coming here. Miss Esther Oga, our Vice President of NSBS, I want to say a big thank you to you. And also Sir Josh, thank you so much. And Miss Ayo at DBC, thank you very much. I also want to say a big thank you to the whole the union of NSBS. It's a privilege to have your support. You know, it's one thing to have ideas and it's another thing to gain the support that you need. So I want to say a big thank you to you and to the whole team, everybody that did one thing or the other, contributed in one way or the other for the success of this event. I want to say thank you. Finally, I want to say a big thank you to everyone here. I know you have your activities, but you came today, and I hope that you've learned something, and I hope you'll be a global giant. Thank you.
Okay. Don't worry, we're almost done. We are really almost done. But after now, we are going to be hitting the social media to do a lot of publicity on this particular study community. So we want to invite the person of Winifred Otafu. Let her give us more on the media, the publicity, and then, yeah. Please jam your hands together as she comes forward.
Of the greatest metabolites. I believe we've all learned something here today, haven't we? If you've learned something, let me see your hand up. Thank you. Aside from growing this community in University of Jos, we are aiming to take this community outside just this university. We want the whole of Nigeria to know about what we've cooked up here today. which is why I would like to engage us in a very short, fun activity. All of you should bring out your iPhones, please. Phones. You don't have iPhone. Then bring out your phone, don't worry. Everybody, I need to see your phone. If you have your phone, let me see it up. Okay, and now you will take a picture of you and the person seated next to. You will take a picture, a selfie, and you would post it on all your social media platforms with. You already have pictures. You take another one with the person seated next to you, and you would use the hashtag InauguralEvent, hashtag Global Biochem Giants, hashtag BCH UniJos, and hashtag University of Jos. Oh, okay. It will be here on the screen, so you can use it. You post it on your social media platforms, and you tell everyone exactly what you've experienced here today, and you tell them about the visions as you have seen earlier today. And as we do so, God will bless us in Jesus' name. Thank you. Right? Hashtag InauguralEvent. Then hashtag Global Biochem Giants. It's still here. Okay, we'll share it to the various platforms on WhatsApp, and it's also here. Thank you.
Well, put your hands together for her. Don't worry, it's going to be shared on all the class groups so that you'll be able to get it clearly. Now, before we do the final thing, we are going to call our senior Beatrice Timothy so that there is something, a burden upon his heart he needs to share with us. Please, can you put your hands together as we invite Beatrice Timothy? Thank you.
Sorry, I think I'll be on my seat. Not to take much of your time, it's just a suggestion that I want to give to our able lecturers that are present. I think I came in contact with one of my juniors, and then she actually brought about the idea to my mind. She was like, if she saw the lab, the new lab at the main lab, so she was like, sir, 100 level students allowed to access the lab. I was like, wait, you're just coming to the university system. You don't even know anything about biochemistry first. So calm down first. When the time reach, I believe you get to know about the lab. So just a matter of suggestion to our lecturers that are present, maybe during the nearest future, if there is any way possible that the department can run certificate courses. As we are running biochemistry, if there is any way the department can also run certificate courses, some of us don't mind paying to get those courses. So please, if there's any way the department can run certificate courses on how we can use, because one of the major challenge I believe to research is technical know-how. There's no how you say you want to go about research without the technical know-how. So if there's any way the department can start certificate courses in which we get to pay, and then we learn about the equipment and the principles that are behind this equipment, I think most of us present here will really appreciate. And I think it will go a long way by setting us apart from other biochemists that are being graduated from other universities across Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's amazing. The last thing on my list here is refreshment and networking. Now, there's something I need you to do right away. Somebody you've not spoken to before, since you came into this university, please, are you ready? Please, because there's really serious riots going on in the Middle Belt now. I hope I'm right. Is there no riots going on there? Okay, so our welfare department will take care of that. So somebody whom you've never seen before, whom you've never talked to before, and maybe you are shy of the person, please just walk up to the person and engage in conversation. This is the last thing we're doing before we're leaving here. Okay. Are you doing that already? There are some people who are very shy. Please engage them. Ask them of their name. Ask them of their level. Ask them of their relationship status. Ask them of their relationship status. Are you single and searching? Or single not searching? Single seriously searching? Ensure there is somebody you've not talked to before. Okay.
Okay. All right. I can see everyone is catching along. Awesome. Juan, who do you meet? Who did you meet? Okay, you met Divine. Okay. All right. So, on behalf of the biochemistry study community, I want to say a big thank you to all of us once more. Hello. Hello. Thank you so much again for coming. But if you look at our program outline, you find out that there's an introduction of the research team. Yeah? Did you see that? Are we together? You saw that, right? So we'll be taking up research projects from today. Like after this event, we'll be taking up research projects. And it's very interesting to know that we'll be partnering with Train, in which Joshua Omale, one of our panelists, who is a cancer advocate, is the president. Please give him a round of applause. We already have a good start by God's grace. After our nucleotide, we are building a nucleotide. After that is being built, we'll go straight to the research with Shrine. Shrine is a big international research platform. So I want to enjoin each and every one of us, especially biochemistry students. Make sure you are part of this. Like I shared the other time, there are different places you can fit in. Make sure when we start, you join us. We'll make sure we have your data. We'll follow up with you and make sure everything goes well. Thank you and God bless you.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. There's something I just realized though. Every biochemistry person just they speak for like in English that they study. It don't shock you. Everybody just they speak for any. Okay, now this is what you are gonna be doing. I need everyone to listen, please. We are going to, in a way to appreciate, listen, please. The time for networking. Uncle, you don't hold that gear too much, you. Okay. Okay, now, in a way to appreciate our lecturers, I need us to give them a standing ovation with a clap as we appreciate them. That's right. That's right. This is to say that we appreciate your coming. We love, honor, and respect you. It's amazing. Thank you, sir. Okay. Okay, that's okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, sir, for coming. It's an honor to have you around. Now, this is what we're going to do. The biochemistry study community would want to take a picture with the panelists, both our lecturers and then the seniors. And then after that is done, we are going to have an order of exit from the hall. First, our lecturers, they are going to be going out first. Or at the door, you are going to be given a little package. So that we do not miss up the whole thing. So our lecturers will first of all go outside. Then our panelists, our seniors, and then everybody can go in the same vein. So please let the team, the biochemistry Where are they now? Biochemistry study community. Please come, let's take the snapshot here with our panelists, our lecturers, and then our seniors. All of you are looking fine. Okay. I think, but just to have this as just a few minutes, we'll be done. Photographer, come and give us the order. Where's photographer? Arrange us. You arrange us now. Okay. 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 Okay, please go back to your seat so that the order of exit will be done the way it was said initially.
Tell them as they are going out, they pick their food. No, that one is shared. Let's give them. We are
Okay. Yes. Okay, now this is going to be this is what we are going to do. Like I said initially, please everybody settle down. It was agreed initially. I think you can see some of these are people wearing some fine clothes, Abby. The person who asked the question, she's going to have one of yes, that's the gift or the award for asking question. I still have some recharge card here. Should I call them or we should just go? I should allow. We should go. Okay, for those. Okay, Todd. Let's allow our lecturer to go first. Please, can you jam your hands together for them once again as go? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, ma. Thank you for coming. We'll have more of this. Thank you for coming, ma. Thank you for coming, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Sir, you have not given me a handshake yet. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay. For 9 mobile users, 9 mobile. It's as if the network is extinct, but don't worry. Okay, but I know there are some people using 9 mobile. 34 729 623 47 09 494. Then the next is going to be Airtel. After I call this out, when I go begin, they go outside. Somebody got it? Wow, that's amazing. Okay, Airtel. 56 31 19 82. You carried the number for head before? Where did I stop? Eh? Okay, I should start from. Okay, now let me take it again. 56 31 19 82 45 89 90 89. Who got it? Okay, wow, that's amazing. Okay, see you. Please, let's settle down as we say the closing prayer before everybody go out. Can we pray? Our Father, we thank you for everything you started with us. Thank you for all the things you've done. Thank you for the discussion. For everyone present here, we say, may your name be praised. As we go, we ask, may your protective hands be upon us. In Jesus' mighty name it is done. Amen. Thank you very much. See you some other time. The refreshment is waiting for you at the door. Thank you. Okay, now, I think the people here, they'll be going out first so that we do not crowd the door. That's right. Thank you.